Well, welcome to our prediction segment of On Point Live, right here from the Manhattan Beach Studios. Hi, everybody. I'm Vince Ferragamo, former Super Bowl quarterback for the Rams, and alongside is my former teammate and 20-year NFL legend, Hall of Famer Jackie Slater. Jackie, we're going to talk about the AFC North today.
How about that, huh?
Man,
I think that's one of your favorite AFC divisions.
Jackie, this is the toughest division in football this year, I think. It's going to be tough to predict who's going to win this because all four teams are good.
All of them are loaded. There's no doubt about it.
Loaded,
you know, Vince, Joey
Burrow.
is all I could think about was Joey Burrow. You've known you played with his dad in college. You watched this kid grow up.
Yes.
And you've seen the success that he had. What I want to ask you is, will this be the year that he surpasses Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs?
That's a good question, Jackie. You know, those two teams right there are always going to vie for the championship, okay, Jack? And I have to look at Joey Burrow as the quarterback, obviously. I've known him for a long time and know his dad real well. His dad was a really good coach and a great player at University of Nebraska. But, you know, this guy, when he plays, Jackie, he's cool, he's composed, his timing is impeccable. The release of the ball, his accuracy and precision, Jackie, or he puts the ball right where you want to put it. It's really hard to find fault with this young quarterback. He's probably one of the finest young quarterbacks in football. Ever since he came in, he got hurt a little bit, but he was able to recover, you know, and he's been into a Super Bowl. Jackie didn't win, didn't beat the Rams, but this guy's got then the other thing to complement what he brings to the table, Jackie, is their offense is still in place. They got Jamar Chase, they got T. Higgins, they got Tyler Boyd,
all the weapons,
3 receivers.
All of their weapons are there.
You know, and then they added an offensive tackle from the Kansas City championship team, the Chiefs.
Yeah, Orlando Brown, blindside protector, which is going to be much needed for this young quarterback. There's no doubt about it. You know, Vince, you know, when you think about the Bengals, they finished 16th overall in defense last season with a finish of 6 in points allowed. Defensive coordinator Lou Arenado, his unit gets the job done. It's right. Really important for the defense to be able to play in concert with the offense. What do you think about that defense?
Lou's done a great job, Jackie. I mean, with this team, you know, he really performs and he's really critical. He's analytical, how his approach is. He gets his team ready to play. They've come up with big plays when they need them, Jackie. It's the amount of timing. You know, they're out with two safeties are missing. You know, they traded away Jesse Bates, or he went on a free agency, and Von Bell, but they acquired Dax Hill, and then former Rams safety
Nick Scott, who you and I both hated to see leave the Rams. He is a really good football player.
He's a big player. And I tell you, I think this is a team that's going to be in contention again, Jackie. They're the only team that beats Kansas City. They give them a run for their money every year.
Every single year.
And so I think this is going to be the class of the AFC North. What's your prediction? Who do you like?
Well, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go with the Bengals, but I like the Steelers too. Moving on to the Steelers, Mike Tomlin has done a fantastic job, Vince. I mean, this guy just all of these. He only wins 10 games a year, and I mean, what can you say? That he's been to a couple of Super Bowls, won one, and his teams just consistently perform at a very, very high level. The thing that the early indication that I have about the Steelers when I think about them in this coming season, they're going to open up with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, as we know, are a really good football team, but I think the Steelers, the fact that they run the ball as much as they invest in running the football as much as they do is going to be critical for them. And I think that's going to be a big caveat to help them go a long ways this year.
You can't ever discount the Steelers, Jackie, because Mike Tomlin in 16 years, Jackie, has had 10 wins, 10 seasons of 10 wins or more.
Right.
Okay. He's always in contention, 10 times playoff contention, won a Super Bowl. I mean, he believes in Kenny Pickett, his quarterback. This guy is really set to turn the tide again this year. I mean, he's replacing Ben Roethlisberger. He's replacing a lot of guys, Antonio Brown, but he comes up with teams. He's tough, Jackie.
And you know another thing he does, Vince, is he analyzes his teams and he concludes what the key pieces are that need to be added. Now, if you take a look at what he has done, he went out and he signed Isaac Seumalo. the big powerful offensive guard from the Philadelphia Eagles, gave him $24 million, and then he turned around and doubled down and he drafted Broderick Jones from the University of Georgia. So he understands that football is a big man game, and you got to keep stacking, and you got to keep stacking with these guys.
Well, he likes to run the football.
He likes to run the football because he knows it's critical to any offensive success. Now, when you think about their offense, Kenny Pickett was a rookie last year, and I remember you marveling at some of the stuff that he's did. You talked about how accurate and powerful he was, his arm and everything, how he led the team, and he led the team to 2 critical game-winning drives, one against the Raiders, one against the Ravens. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Keeping the Steelers' slim playoff hopes alive late into the season, and here he was a rookie. Are you expecting him to be better this year?
You know, Jackie, any quarterback coming out of college, the NFL, that adjustment's tough the first year. But you know what? He's going to pick up a lot of steam. And sometimes there's great progress between years 1 and 2 and 3. And he's the type of quarterback for a quarterback. He's going to really step up his game. I like him as a quarterback. He has a lot of similar traits that Joey Burrow has. He's a competitor, Jackie. You know, the thing that I get is his interaction with his teammates is special. They like that. They thrive it. I mean, that's what Mike Tomlin, he breeds this culture.
Yeah,
you know, everybody works together for a common goal. And
both sides of the ball, all 3 phases.
And Jackie, I'm telling you, I think Kenny Pickett is gonna really impress. He's getting better each and every year, and so I think this is going to be a much improved team this year.
I agree, Vince. And their defense is going to be special as well. You know, they lost their top corner back in free agency, but they went and drafted a namesake, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
And, you know, their secondary has always thrived there in Pittsburgh because of the way they teach them, because of their schemes, but also because of the pressure that they put up front. It's easy to be a good, reliable secondary cover guy when you got big-time heat being put on the quarterback.
Like who?
Like Mr. T.J. Watt.
Yeah,
T.J. Watt puts pressure on the quarterback like no other. And think about his effect on the game, Vince. We saw how things drastically changed with him last year because he suffered a torn pec muscle in week 1. And that caused him to miss 7 games, and the Steelers lost 6 of those games. Yeah. So T.J. Watt back in the fold, coupled with some of these young corners and secondary guys they got, plus a running game, it makes the Steelers just that more dangerous, in my opinion.
Yeah, they beefed up the offensive line. Jackie, T.J. Watt obviously is a centerpiece on their defense.
Right.
He's the key to how they play, and you know the pass rush. You can't substitute a great pass rush. The pass rush is going to get to the quarterback, the defensive backs, and they have the best defensive backs in the AFC North.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
and they added a great young guy.
Right. So so my prediction. You know, I like the Bengals to win it, but I think the Steelers are going to be right there at second.
They're going to
I don't know. What's your prediction?
I agree with you. They're going to be pushing hard for second, and Joey Burrow has any problems whatsoever. Mike Tomlin and his gang are going to be sitting right there, even with the second year quarterback.
So now we got to get to the Ravens.
Yes, let's get on over to John Harbaugh's group here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Lamar Jackson finally got his contract situation worked out. Congratulations, Lamar, there. Yeah. You certainly deserve it. But, you know, Jackson has failed to be healthy enough during the most critical parts, Vince, of their season. He has in 2021, he missed 5 games, and the year before that, he missed games. And one year there, they were 8-4 and well on their way to a playoff opportunity. Yeah. Boom, he's out and missed 5 games, and then there goes their chances. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Is he going to be able to stay healthy during the critical times of the season when they need the quarterback to step up and make plays?
Anytime you have a quarterback that likes to run and is a vital part, they play a vital role in their offense strategy, Jackie, it's questionable if the quarterback can stay healthy the entire year because they hits like a running back. But, you know, Greg Roman had a lot to do, and John Harbaugh together, putting together an offensive plan that suited the skills of his quarterback in Lamar Jackson. And they utilized his ability to move, to play action, to run the football, and to drop back and throw, because he can also throw. So they put that together. This year, Todd Monken, who had great success at the University of Georgia.
With Stetson Bennett.
Well, yeah, if he can make Stetson Bennett a good quarterback, what can he do with Lamar Jackson?
So do you actually think Lamar Jackson is going to be a better operative from the pocket as a passer?
Well, I think with a good coaching staff, they've acquired Odell Beckham.
Yes.
Okay, they already have Andrews as a great tight end. That's his key. That's a safety valve. But I'm telling you, Jackie, to be a style that Monken is going to put in, he's going to put a widespread offense.
Yeah.
And that really doesn't play into the skill set of Lamar Jackson.
So you're saying that you think Lamar is going to struggle from the pocket as a passer?
Well,
that's what you're saying.
They're going to have to be very. Let's put it this way: they're going to have to be very innovative. Is how they do that, orchestrate getting everybody involved in the passing game with a quarterback that is kind of limited in what he does and how he operates.
How is he limited, Vince? Tell me.
He's limited in the fact that he hasn't had as much experience dropping back and reading coverage
defenses
and deciding where to go. It's usually after a play action pass, you got one guy running wide open down the field, he can deliver the ball.
Right.
Okay,
and I agree with all of what you just said. Now, Vince, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
How successful can he be when Odell Beckham Jr. is expected to be wide receiver number one? And Odell Beckham is 31 years old, and he hasn't played a game in 500 days.
That doesn't matter.
500 days, Vince. So, I mean, the Baltimore wideouts combined for just 7 touchdowns receptions last season. To me, that number has to double at least in 2023. So, Mark Andrews is still there, and he's going to be probably his top option. But what else? What else do you think of this receiver core?
Well, nobody can catch the ball like Odell Beckham, Jackie. You see those one-handed catches he takes out of the air. I mean, he can catch.
But he hasn't played in 500 days.
It doesn't matter. Odell Beckham can come in 2 weeks and be ready to play. I mean, it's phenomenal how he can be ready, and it's a mindset, Jackie. If he's ready to play football, he's going to step on the field and be a vital target for Lamar Jackson. But you got Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is his sole proprietor right there. That's the guy he wants to throw the ball to.
Security blanket.
That's the guy.
Right.
And so he's going to have him to go a long ways, and then they're going to get their running game going too, Jackie. They're not going to neglect their running game.
Absolutely.
That's going to be vital as well. So, that's what I see. But
so how do they finish? How do they finish?
Well, before they finish, you got to talk a little bit about, the absence of weak Martindale. Okay, he's gone, Jackie. They're the Ravens defense. Can they carry Lamar Jackson through this learning process, as they go forward?
I think the Ravens defense can always be depended on to be successful. They do a fantastic job at the line of scrimmage to get big physical guys that understand how to deal with blocking schemes that are thrown with them. They have adequate pass rushes. They can put heat on you with the individuals as well as the scheme. So when I look at their defense, I mean, under John Harbaugh, they have never had a liability with their defense. They have always been consistently good there. So I'm not concerned about their defense. The thing that concerns me is Todd Monken instilling a spread pass offense with a lot of reads to it, perhaps, that Lamar Jackson has to be good in.
And so you're okay with Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, stepping in and really getting the guys to get ready to go?
Absolutely. Because he has some studs to get ready to go.
How do you predict the Ravens finishing in the North?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned about the passer. I think Lamar, is going to have some growing pains with the new system, and it's going to take some time. So I don't see them finishing any higher than number 3 in that division.
I see them. It's hard for me to put John Harbaugh, as great a coach as he is, and they can't get up to the top. I don't really see them competing. I see them competing, but I think because, as what you said, their offense being behind the 8 ball and having a learning process going on with a new offensive coordinator, I don't see them coming out of the chute being really solid.
Yeah.
So I don't see them finishing. I see them finishing last.
Right.
I think there's better teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Okay.
Moving on to the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson struggled after his return from the suspension events a year ago. Right. Can he regain his form that he had as a Pro Bowl player?
I definitely think so, Jackie. With Steven Stefanski, the coach, he came in mid-season last year. He didn't have a preseason. He didn't have a whole year to prepare for the season. This year, now he's feeling more comfortable. He's back in the groove, so to speak. And I really like Deshaun Watson as a quarterback. He can make all the throws, Jackie. He's talented, he competes, and if he has to move, he'll move. But he actually wants to throw first, move second. So I like that aspect of his quarterback style. I think they're going to be more effective, and we'll see how things go. He's got a wide receiver, Elijah Moore, they got from the Jets, who was very productive. And, you know, a lot needs to be seen, but I do see them improve this year, and I think you're going to have a team to watch out for.
Right, and like you said, they've got Nick Chubb. So
yeah,
and Joe Botinho, their left guard, will knock you out. He is really a physical guy.
Yeah, Nick Chubb can really run the ball, and if they get that running game going. Now, Jackie, let me ask you a quick question on their defense. Jim Schwartz, okay, he steps in for Joe Woods, his defensive coordinator. Now, you know Jim Schwartz. He's been to Detroit. He's the head coach there. He's been with Philadelphia. He went to Super Bowl. He's with Buffalo. Okay, Tennessee. Jackie, he can make it happen on defense.
Yes, he certainly can, and I'm impressed. I've always been impressed with Jim Schwartz. He's been one of those young, imaginative guys that comes up with all of these different flavors of the month to serve up to these different offenses that just make you go, wow, how was he able to think of that? Yeah. So he's a smart guy, and all the players recognize that about him. So he's done a good job of consistently putting his players in position to feel good about their contribution for their success, but also to be playmakers. And that's what you want to see on the defensive side of the ball. Everybody wants to be a playmaker, and Jim Schwartz has consistently put his guys in position to be great playmakers. Now, his reputation of providing quick improvement to defenses is what I'm expecting to see now. He doesn't come there and take 4 or 5 years to draft this guy and draft that guy and draft that guy next year. He comes in and he looks at what he has, and he gets those guys that he have to play at their strength. And that's usually always within the scheme that he wants to use. So when you think about Schwartz, you have to think, okay, this guy is a weapon. Here's a guy who knows how to put offenses in a bad spot and give us a chance to win. So I'm pretty excited about watching him this season.
So these are not the same old Browns, you think? They're not headed to be last in the division. What do you think?
Well,
they got the dog pound still there.
They still got the dog.
They're going to be cheering.
They still got the dog pound, and they got a real good quarterback and certainly a nice left guard. But I'm just not so sure about them. I like the physical aspects of what they do. I like what Schwartz is going to bring to the table, but it's just kind of hard for me to see Cleveland this year challenging the top 2 teams, which I think are the Bengals and the Steelers, for a run at the playoffs.
I think they'll be third in this division, and believe me, I think you may be impressed or surprised because they may be a turnaround team that might even do better than that.
Maybe flip it around.
Okay.
That's a possibility. That's a very good possibility.
That's our discussion on the AFC North. It's going to be the toughest divisions in football this coming year in 2023.
Definitely.
So we're definitely excited to see what's going to happen this year. Training camp is just days away, and we're really excited to see what's going to happen this year. So for Jackie and I, make sure next time you stay on point.